The next thing we're going to do is do our working capital schedule so that we can forecast out those current assets and current liabilities. Working capital, you can look it up, the exact definition, but basically what it is it's the money that you need to run your business on a day-to-day basis. It's the amount of money that's taken up by your business that you don't have free for other activities. So things like accounts receivable is money that you've funded your customers. You've given them a loan, I guess not really credit, but you've sort of given them a loan for the product that you gave them because they haven't paid you yet. So that's money that you gave them as a loan, and that's money that you need to run the business on day to day. So if you look at our balance sheet, we haven't forecasted yet our working capital. We have accounts receivable, some of our current assets. We've got some of our current liabilities here. So let's do that now. I'm going to create a new schedule called working capital schedule. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste the links here. That's a cool copy paste special function. You can just copy and paste the links. All right, so these are all of our current liabilities. I'm only going to use the accounts receivable, inventory, and the prepaid expenses. The other ones aren't really part of our working capital. These are the main ones. And then I'm going to grab the current liabilities and do the same. All right. So now we do the same thing we did with the balance sheet. We figure out the drivers for each one. And down here, we're going to put them in here. So accounts receivable, few ways to model this, but basically accounts receivable are, its relationship with the sales. It's how many of our sales did we give on credit. So do we sell on credit? So I'm going to do this as a percentage of sales. Accounts receivable is a percentage of sales. And I'm going to paste that formula there. Inventory is a measure of the cost, right? It's the amount of inventory we need to hold based on the amount of COGS that we have, cost of goods sold. So I'm just going to do this. There's other ways to do it too, but I'm going to do this as a measure of the cost of goods sold. It's 1% of cost of goods sold. It's pretty low. I have to look into that later. Prepaid expenses. Again, these are probably going to be as a percentage of COGS. I put here, but it's the amount of if you prepay a certain percentage of the COGS that's consistent, then this will be as a percentage of COGS. So I'm going to do prepaid expenses as a percentage of COGS, cost of goods sold. Unearned revenue, again, that's the portion of our revenue that we book without earning it yet. So I'm going to do that as a percentage of sales because that's the driver there. That's the one that makes the most sense for me. Accounts payable. What are accounts payable? Accounts payable are expenses that you have used but you haven't paid for yet. So that's a percentage of expenses, which is COGS. So I'll do this as percentage of COGS. Makes sense that this is pretty big for this company, and it also shows that they're pretty good at managing their cash, right? If you owe someone, you haven't paid them cash, that's a good thing. You want to use as little cash as possible. So having a big accounts payable and making this bigger than accounts receivable is actually a pretty good thing. Accrued expenses. These are just accrued expenses. You can look it up, but it's kind of a blend of a lot of things. You'd have to look at the 10K to figure out what this exactly includes, but it is expenses, so I'm going to do it as a percentage of COGS. Expenses, percentage of COGS. All right. So now I've taken the average of all these. I'm just going to double check to make sure there's no major swings in these, so we can kind of assume they're going to be the same going forward. And that's about true. So I'm going to do this. Keep those constant. These are all averages. So there's no major swings. We'll keep them all the same going forward. So this is going to be accounts receivable is going to be 1.8% of sales. What else is based on sales? We've got unearned revenue. It's based on sales. And I fixed the sales, so I fixed the sales cell so that I can just drag it down like that. Everything else is just based on COGS. So it's inventory, percentage of COGS. I'm going to fix that with the F4 key twice so that I can just drag across. And then prepaid expenses. If I audit this, it's on the right column. So prepaid expenses. We've got accounts payable. Need to drag this up. Great. All right. So our working capital. Let's just review it for a second. Our working capital is actually negative. That's interesting, and it's great for the business. That means that they are, uh, you know, buying on credit more than they're selling on credit. So their cash cycle is pretty good. Their accounts receivables are low. That means people are paying fast, and their accounts payables are high. That means they are paying slow, which is great. Low inventory, really low inventory relative to their COGS. I'm not sure how they're managing that, but that's just-in-time inventory is a way to do it. It's kind of weird in the restaurant industry, and I'm not sure how they're doing it, but that's great. So this is good. Now, from a cash flow perspective, right, we want to find out the increase or decrease in working capital. So it's actually decreased over time here. So a positive will be a decrease. And just remember that we're using a positive or a negative in our convention here. So these are going to be our increasing and decreasing of working capital over time. Now, again, I don't know if we can forecast this. Like, we have to look and see if this actually makes sense. This is a pretty significant decrease in working capital over time. We'd have to go back and see if this makes sense for this specific business, but for the model, everything should be structured right. So now we've got our working capital schedule. We can go ahead and connect these back in to our balance sheet, and this is how our balance sheet is going to be filled in. So we're going to connect our accounts receivable here. And these are our inventory. You can see it's down here and links to the right place. So our balance sheet is really starting to get filled out. The only thing we haven't filled out in current assets is cash. All right, we haven't filled out property, plant, and equipment yet. That's not in our working capital schedule. So let's do our current liabilities and link these. Okay. And long-term debt we haven't done, common stock and retained earnings. So we've basically filled in most of our balance sheet. We still need our cash. To do this, we'll need to build a cash flow statement. To do this, we'll need to build a property, plant, and equipment schedule, or we can just forecast and assume that it's going to go up with sales. But I want to build a PP&E schedule so that you can see what it consists of. And then we'll deal with debt, which they have none, but I still want to build a debt schedule just so you know how to do it. That's going to be a big factor in the three-statement model, and then we'll fill these in. All right, this was great. Good luck doing this yourself, and click on the next video for our property, plant, and equipment schedule.